Alright, today we're going to talk about and review how to change fractions, decimals, and percents kind of with each other. So one thing that you might have seen in elementary school was the triangle. And we have fractions, percents, and decimals. We have the numerator over the denominator. We have the percent. And we have a decimal, which is an example of 0.2. So if you want to go from a percent to a fraction, you put the percent over 100. If you want to go from a fraction to a decimal, you divide with the numerator inside and the denominator outside. And that's the top in and the bottom out. If you want to go from a decimal to a percent, you move the decimal 2 spaces to the right. And today we're just going to recap how to do all of this. So if you wanted to go from a percent to a decimal, you do the opposite of what's here. If you wanted to go to a decimal to a fraction, you would do the opposite of this. Okay? Alright, so we're going to now go to our worksheet that we have for the day, and I'm going to go back and forth between the worksheet and our paper just to show my work. So we're going to put our percent as a fraction and a decimal. Okay, so this is our example 1 table. So we have 37.5%, and I want to make that a fraction. So to go from a percent to a fraction, we put the percent, which is 37.5 over 100. And then we simplify. Oops, sorry. So we have 37.5 and we simplify. We can't simplify anymore, so we want to make that a decimal. We want to make a percent a decimal. We reference back up here, a percent a decimal. We want to go 2 places to the left. So I have 37.5 and I want to go 2 places to the left, so I have 0.375 as my decimal. So I have 37.5 over 100 and 0.375 as my decimal. Okay. We have 100%. Again, we put the 100% over 100, and 100 divided by 100 is 1. And then we start out as our percent and we move 2 places to the left. Remember, since there is no decimal, it's at the end, and I go 2 places to the left, and we have our decimal as 1. So our fraction is 100 over 100, which is 1, and my decimal is 1.0. Okay. That's kind of the same thing. If I want to convert this decimal to a percent, we go 2 places to the right. 1, 2, that's 2.5%. We wanted to make this a fraction. We put 25, or we can put 0.25 over the decimal place, which is tens, hundreds, 1,000, which is going to be 25 over 1,000, which we can simplify by 25. 25 divided by 25 is 1, and 1,000 divided by 25 is 40. So my fraction is 1 over 40. If we wanted to make this fraction a decimal, we would have to divide. Remember, our numerator goes inside the house, our denominator goes outside the house. 1 can't go into 8, so I add a decimal and a 0. 8 goes into 10 once, with 2 left over, add a decimal and bring it down, or add a 0 and bring it down. 8 goes into 20, 8 16 2 times, with 4 left over. 8 goes into 40 5 times, with nothing left over. So my decimal is 0.125. And if I wanted to make that decimal a percentage, I would move my decimal 2 places to the right, and I would have 12.5%. And that is it.